Hi, this is Pockets. Welcome to the HamShack. Just setting up to get started on doing a bit of a YouTube channel. I won't be doing regular videos like 2 or 3 a week or something. Just a bit of a hobby channel. Not interested in running ads on it to monetize it. It's not the goal. Just a bit of a blab channel, talking about ham radio, electronics, the do not talk about religion, probably not politics because that's not my thing. I'll go for the party generally that's supporting nature or technology. That's probably one thing I can quickly talk about. The NBN, National Broadband Network, here in Australia, for those watching overseas, the previous government, the Labor government, had implemented the National Broadband Network, which was a replacement to ageing copper, and it was meant to be fibre optic to the home, and then you would have a unit mounted on the wall of the house on the outside. It would be battery backup. The fibre would carry your phone and internet connection, but it was more than that. You could have more than one internet connection. You could have one devoted to pay TV coming in on the same fibre. So if you wanted pay TV, you wouldn't need cable and internet through ADSL or other options. It would also consist, you could have a telemedicine channel, so that if you were elderly or disabled with a chronic disease, you could sit down, hook up a blood pressure cuff and talk to a nurse or a doctor in real time and have checkups done via the internet, but separate to the main internet channel, so they could bring in specialists on teleconference calls and you wouldn't lose bandwidth, and the costing would be different. It could be covered by Medicare. Not that it would have been or would have been, should have been, could have been, that doesn't matter. The option existed that was possible. You could have multiple internet connections. So if you're living in a situation where you had an adult son living at home like we do, and he wanted his own internet, he could pay to have his own internet connected, and it wouldn't be any more than adding an additional modem. He wouldn't need to get any more cabling like we would now. We have a VDSL connection, very fast DSL stands for, where this is on the NBN. But the current government decided that fibre to the home was going to be too costly, so they canned a lot of the contracts that were already in place, and they in turn put fibre to the node. Now, fibre to the node, you have a fibre optic run to a box, which is the node. The node service, I think it's around 300 and 320, something like that, homes, through one fibre link. And then they use the copper phone line that existed already. So a lot of these nodes went in where there were service poles, and I don't mean the poles like power poles. I'm talking just the concrete pillars. Pillars, that's the word I'm looking for. So the service pillars where all the phone lines came in. They'd plop a node down next to that, run 300 houses in, hook it all up. Now, we were looking at speeds of about 100 gigabits on fibre, with the potential for that to go a lot higher through multiplexing and stuff as the technology matured. But with fibre to the node, our modem on VDSL, we're paying for a 12 megabit download, 1 megabit upload connection, simply because for us that was the only unlimited plan that was available. They had faster plans, 50 megabit down and whatever the speed up was, but it was a 1 terabyte cap. Now that might seem like enough, but on our previous connection, which was 100 gigabytes peak, unlimited off peak, we could actually break a terabyte in a month. It was close. We usually did about 700 meg, so we did 700 gig. We did about 100 gig during the day. We took it easy. We didn't do a lot of stuff, but at night, any downloading, Windows uploads, Windows downloads, Windows service pack updates, that sort of thing, games. My sons would queue Steam up to download at night, so gaming and all that sort of stuff, updates would happen at night, and might be 10 gig. So we could quite easily get not a terabyte, but 700 or 800 gig. Now we're breaking a terabyte nearly every month. We got an unlimited plan. It was the same speed as what we had previously, which was 12 megabit download, 1 megabit upload. Previously we'd been on a microwave connection to a tower not far from us. The tower is owned by our internet provider, which I'll put it out there, not sponsored, not affiliated. DCSI, Druin Computer Services and Internet, although they service a lot more than Druin now. Been around forever in the local area. Invested heavily in the local area with Wi-Fi services for farms that couldn't get ADSL because they were too far from the exchange. They started putting up towers and leasing space on existing phone towers, putting up not Wi-Fi but wireless access systems, some on 2.4 gig and others on 5 gig, and that's not speed, that's frequency on 5 gig systems, WiMAX and stuff like that. Really great. Love the company. They've since been bought out by a larger conglomerate, but they've kept the name, they've kept the same staff, they've still got the same local service, their pricing's great. So dcsi.net.au, highly recommend them. They do NBN and stuff. You don't have to be in Victoria or in the local area. They do other services, ADSL and NBN. So we've got them for our provider. So the NBN connection, no faster, but quite regularly break the terabyte. Now we're not limited. If I want to do a download in the middle of the day, I can. I would usually stay up and watch YouTube videos. You see me looking up, that's where the camera output is. I'll show you around a bit in a minute. Not so much the shed. I'll do a shed shack tour. Not today, another day, because I haven't got the other video camera charged. I'll get into what I'm running in a second. So the NBN, they screwed it basically. Fibre to the home got canned, fibre to the node. Our modem, if we had fibre to the home, we'd get at least 100 megabits with the possibility of upgrading. Now on the copper, which was so bad that we couldn't get ADSL, when our phone rang, the internet connection dropped out. When it rained, the internet connection dropped out, and it was slower than dial-up sometimes, like 30k. I was getting faster than that on dial-up. So we ended up going to their wireless system, which cost more per gigabyte, but we got a reliable service, and we also had unlimited at night, so we just structured around that. The ADSL was considerably, when I say considerably less, it was the same price per month, but you got a terabyte of data a month compared to 100 gigabytes of data a month. So that was the difference. The VDSL seems to be handling the poor copper better. Someone said, oh, it's because the node's closer to your house, which it isn't. As the cable runs, we're about 400 meters from the phone exchange. The node was put in across the road from the phone exchange, so we went from 400 meters of copper to 380 metres of copper and 20 metres of fibre. So you can't tell me that 20 metres of fibre fixed it. There's still got to be degradation in the copper, but the VDSL is handling it better. I regularly run speed tests. I've got a Linux machine, one of our servers. Every 30 minutes it runs a speed test and logs it. That's against competing traffic. So if we're doing stuff, browsing the web and so on, that takes precedence. So it always reports lower numbers. But if I hook a laptop directly up to the modem, disconnect all the other machines in the house, which are actually quite a lot, then we can, what was I thinking? I shouldn't multitask. That's the problem with fibromyalgia. So, yeah, no, the internet's better than what we had. It's no faster, as I said, but we can be downloading, and I can watch videos during the day, and it works well. I'll just bring up I'm running OBS while I do this. Haven't used this before, so this is OBS, which is an Open Broadcast System, I think it stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm also going to be running Lightworks. So what I'll do, OBS will do the talking headshots. I'm running 3 monitors. I've got the main monitor, which is the one you can see in the background up here behind the camera feeds. I've got 2 cameras. I've got a Logitech 9000 on something or other, which is the main webcam pointing straight at me. I'm running a Logitech C110 off to the side here. That's for when I'm at the workbench, because I've got an L-shaped bench. Above the workbench is a God mode camera looking straight down on the workbench for when I'm doing electronics projects or pulling things apart and stuff for the channel. Also have another, that's a Panasonic, so that doesn't feed into the computer. I'll have a clapper board. OBS will do the talking headshots, record the audio when I'm in the shack, which I'll replace with a lapel mic. I'll be using my mobile phone as a voice recorder, whack it in my pocket with a lapel mic. OBS will do the video and any other audio through the mixing desk that I have, whether it's radio or whatever. Then the camera above, and this camera is only for going out, the camera above synchronise OBS and that camera with a clapper board and the audio, and then import it into Adobe Lightworks, I think it is. Haven't used it yet, so I can't really remember. Lightworks sounds familiar. That will then I can do my non-linear editing and put it all together and whack it up on YouTube. So yeah, this is a Panasonic HC V130 HD camera. Also does like 9 megapixel stills, 8.9 megapixel, so not great as a digital camera, digital SLR type camera, but it's got 75 times optical zoom, so ridiculous zoom, f2.35. I've got a couple of spare batteries for it, so that'll be my go out camera as well as my mobile phone. If I'm haven't got anything else on me, I've got a Samsung Galaxy Edge S7, so the camera in it's pretty good, 12 megapixel, but the new camera, they went backwards from 16 to 12 megapixel, but they got a better f-stop for more low light recordability, which was a good thing. And then they also have bigger bins on the sensor. The sensor's the same size, so the bins can catch more photons, again better light resolution, rather than actual pixel resolution, better light sensitivity I should say. and optical image stabilization. You can see the camera move as you shake the camera around. So I'll just anyway, we've got the talking headshot. So I've got 3 screens. I've got the main screen in front of me that you can see. I've got a screen at the top here, which is what I can see where I run OBS. So when you see me looking up, that means I'm changing a video source or something. I've also got a portrait screen off to the right where I can keep notes and stuff that I don't want to come up on my main screen, email and stuff like that I might be keeping an eye on, chat, things, whatever. So I'll just open this up. Yep, nothing unforetold. So where are we? Turn off the secondary webcam. Turn off the main webcam. So this is my network view. I wonder if I can see it. Zoom in a bit. Okay. So we've got I haven't changed that. It says microwave WAN connection. That should say this is a little bit old in that we haven't used it, or I haven't updated it for a little while, but it's still and I haven't got a 4G failover anymore either. We just use our mobile phones. Our previous modem had the option of hooking in a wireless mobile phone dongle with a SIM card, and we hardly ever used it. Our internet's pretty reliable, so in the odd times that it goes down, we just use our phones or our tablets and do it that way. We all pay for our own data plans. When I say all, there's 4 of us in the house. There's my wife and myself and 2 adult sons. So anyway, we have the web comes in. I'll get rid of the tower and all that sort of stuff. Again, we don't have a gargoyle router, which was a custom router because we were on limited 100 gigabytes on peak data. The gargoyle router let me set up quotas, so my son might get 1.5 gig per day peak times, and after that got throttled to dial up and stuff like that. So we really recommend Gargoyle. Absolutely brilliant if you've got to do user management with quotas and stuff to stop your kids going over. That runs into a 3Com managed 24 port switch, gigabit. Then we've got inside there's 3 PCs. My son's Brody's isn't set up yet. It died and he's just using his laptop, but he's saving up to build a new PC, which I help him do. Angus is running a AMD, quite a good computer. I'm trying to think, 6-core AMD FX series, dual monitors. We all run dual monitors except for Brody, whose machine isn't up and running yet. We've all got laptops, we've all got Android tablets. The boys have got 10-inch Samsungs, and Joanne and I just got 7-inch Galaxy tabs. We don't use them for gaming and stuff so much. It's more for when we go to church, for hymns or reading scriptures at the kitchen table, that sort of thing. We run VoIP pots. We were running 2 phone lines, a VoIP line and a plain old telephone system line. So again, I'll have to change that. We're now just on straight VoIP because when you connect the VDSL, you don't get a phone service anymore on the same line. So that's all done via VoIP. I'm running HP Proliant. Are they? Yep, Proliant micro servers. We've got 2 of them. Brilliant little machines. They're about 12-inch cubes. Roughly, a little bit bigger, maybe 13-inch high, 10.5-inch, 11-inch wide. They fit 4 SATA hard drives vertically. Brilliant. There's a CD bay that you can, with a few cable modifications, you can put in a cradle for a hot swappable, not hot swappable, for a removable drive. So a total of 5 SATA drives, and they have an internal USB port. So I've got USB sticks running FreeNAS. I think I run, no I don't, I run Open Media Vault, tell a lie. I was running FreeNAS, now I'm running Open Media Vault, which is Debian based, and I'm more familiar with Debian. We've got 2 of them. One's the master server, which has, I can't remember, I think it's 12 terabytes in RAID, of which 8, I think it's 4 3 terabyte drives, of which 8 is available. And then we've got 3 2 terabyte drives in the backup server. And the backup server, and that a couple of times a day copies stuff to the backup server. So that works well. Then we have a Cisco wireless access point. I don't like using combined ones where the modem has Wi-Fi in it, but I'd rather use a dedicated brand name SOHO, small office, home office type stuff, enterprise level. It's just more reliable. I use enterprise switches, they're not home grade switches. The servers are enterprise servers. They haven't got redundant power supplies, and they're not rack mountable, but that's fine. I've got a rack inside as well, which you have a look on my channel, you'll see there's a bit of a video of it. That's got the switch, the modem, one of the servers. That's pretty much about it. Also has some LED lighting running from an Arduino, and it flickers blue and green, just a gentle flicker. And if the internet goes down, it strobes red and blue like police lights, which means your internet's down. I've then got a link into the shack where I've got a Netgear 24 port switch. Why do I run 3 common Netgear switches? Because they were cheap. They're both managed switches. They both do VLAN if I want to get into that. They were, I'm not brand tied in. It's just whatever's available on eBay. It's like, okay, I need a switch, it has to be gigabit, 24 port. Again, why 24 port? I've only got 7 or 8 things plugged in here and a few more inside than that, but I've got the option of expanding if I want to or need to. I'd rather buy it once. 4 ports isn't enough, 8 probably isn't enough, certainly not for inside. When you've got TV, PlayStation, laser printer, multiple PCs, wireless access points. So I've got another Wi-Fi access point in the Radio Shack. The Radio Shack is an 8 by 8 foot metal garden shed, which is where I am now. Audio should be reasonable with the mic, shouldn't be a lot of echo or anything, because there's everything covering the walls, and it's not just bare walls, so it should be reasonably good. The backup NAS is in the shack, even though the shack's only right next to the house. In the event of a fire then or something, hopefully both servers don't go missing or get damaged. It's not great, but it's sort of at least some separation. Run my own Wi-Fi point in the shack as well, because when the door's closed I don't get the one from outside. Then we've got a internet relay linking program system for ham radio. That's one of the nodes lives here. That runs pretty well. 4-channel security system, camera system. So yeah, not bad. A bit more than the average home. In some cases, a bit more than small businesses. I've seen small businesses. I was there, saw one the other day that absolutely astounded me. It was a business that does photography equipment. I won't say what it is, but they've got the photo booths and then there's a back-end server. So if you order a coffee cup or a t-shirt with a photo on it, that goes through the server and gets sent off to be done off-site, and then they post it back and stuff like that. And all the computers and the computers that run the FPOS system and run the shop stores and sales, point of sale stuff, they were using an old bookcase as a server rack and rat's nest of wires, and I just thought, okay, my shacks are rat nest of wires. The cable management, someone once said, will give them cancer. And it is, it's really bad, but that's my shack and I don't care. And if a cable breaks, I don't pull it out, I just run another one and leave the old one there. And one day I might get around to ripping everything out and doing it again, which I have done a couple of times when I rebuilt the shelving for the test equipment. So yeah, it astounds me sometimes. So that's a bit about what the channel's going to be about. I'm looking forward to getting some videos out there, and I don't go out a great deal, so we won't be seeing videos out and about. It'll more just be stuff I do at home. I have fibromyalgia and arthritis and chronic back pain from a motorbike accident. I'm not overly old, but I've led a pretty hard life on my body. Didn't look after it. Motorbike accidents and things, and it all adds up. So look, I hope you enjoyed the introduction. I know it was pretty long. What are we up to? I don't know, is there a way to tell? 26 minutes, so not as bad as I thought. So I will do a bit of a clean up, not because I'm ashamed of the shack, just so you can see what's there. Because it's so small, as I do things on the workbench side, we can probably turn the main webcam back on now, and we'll turn the secondary webcam on just because I can. It's not that I'm ashamed of the shed, it's not filthy, it's not like there's food wrappers and stuff, it's just probably see a bit of it. I say no food wrappers is a V-box. No, there's no empty food containers and rotting food. It's just piles of equipment and tools and label makers and stuff that have been using. Because it's so small, as I do stuff, it's easy to run out of space. So I have to tidy that up a bit, so you can see the gear that I've got and some of the new gear. Bit of a teaser. Recently bought a GPS DO, so that'll be one of the first things you'll see. Anyway, thanks for hanging around. If you've watched the whole video, need to do an intro, I suppose. Not now, not for this video. I'll have to come up with something. I might do some stop motion. I've done that before, just with pen and pencil, and draw the logo and do stop motion. Do a new one for the HamShack. So if you want to check me out, hamshack.org, youtube.hamshack.org will take you to the YouTube channel. The hamshack.org will take you to my blog. Also have Twisted Souls is my other domain. Contact me via email if you need to get hold of me, which you can find out on the HamShack blog, has an email link. So I suppose, what's that now, 28 minutes, sounds good. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch up later on. 73, which is a ham radio term, so just for people who aren't into ham radio, means goodbye and salutations, basically. So 73 to everyone, and I'll catch up with you further down the log.